This is one of those very rare, serious videos I make about a situation that I feel is just very important to cover. Last night in Ybor, which is a place that's close to where we live here in Tampa, there was a shooting that left 2 dead and 16 to 18, the reports are varying, injured. It started as an altercation between people that escalated into guns being drawn and fired, and 16 to 18 people were caught in the crossfire. It wasn't a planned mass shooting. It was a fight that turned into a mass shooting, basically. There's tons of footage from this, including the start of the shooting. I'm clearly not going to show you any of that. And unfortunately, myself and my friends were actually there last night when it happened. Like most people in Tampa, we went down to Ybor to party for Halloween. The shooting happened around 3 a.m., and most of us were still out at that time. Half of us were still in a club, like myself. Some of us had just started going home, and then one of our friends, Peyton, was actually walking on 7th Avenue, which is where the shooting took place. She said she was only a couple blocks away and actually saw the shooting happen. She then called Caleb, who was with me at the club, and he could hear the gunshots in the background as she was trying to warn us to stay inside and not go out under any circumstances. It's a horrifying nightmare. She mentioned she also saw some of the bodies, and I can't even imagine what she must be feeling about the situation that unfolded in front of her. Most of you know I have quite a few irrational fears, like flying. But one fear I have that I don't think is irrational or weird, and probably plenty of you who are also American have a fear of, is mass shootings. It doesn't seem like they're that uncommon anymore. So to have one actually happen where we were is indescribably terrible. And my heart absolutely breaks for anyone that was involved in the situation. It's unimaginable. The club we were at is a couple minutes walk away from where the shooting took place, so we were far enough away that we weren't in danger, but we were close enough that when we left, we could see where the cops and the whole thing had taken place, because it's just one street and you can just see down there. It's an extremely sad situation. The 2 deceased victims were a 14-year-old and a 22-year-old. It's so fucking infuriating to not feel safe anymore out in public because you never know when it might just turn into a mass shooting because 2 people got upset. Just senseless gun violence over fucking nothing. It is horrifying. It's beyond scary. And at the time, all we knew is what Peyton told us. But when we got into our Uber and were heading home and we all got back safely, that's when we started to see clips of what exactly happened. And one of the clips that we saw, probably the biggest clip that we saw, came from a live streamer who was there.
Oh, they wallin'. No, listen.
The streamer caught a lot of shit for this because he is heard audibly belly laughing about the situation, and you can see him smiling ear to ear here, looking like he just got told the best joke in the world while also being tickled during a shooting. He has made a statement about this. He was replying to someone who gave him the benefit of the doubt, saying, "I don't think enough people know that in traumatic situations, people often react in ways that people who are uninvolved would see as inappropriate. This is how the brain works to protect us in moments of distress." To which he said, "Also, I was very intoxicated. As I said before, I hope everyone made it out safe, and I would never intentionally laugh at a situation like this." I don't think there's enough alcohol in the world to make you drunk enough to laugh during a mass shooting, but what they're describing here about laughing during traumatic situations is a real phenomenon. I am familiar with that. I've seen that before when studying in college. It's something we went over, and I don't necessarily know if I believe him that that's what happened, because he seemed extremely excited, almost celebrating that he was capturing these moments on his stream. Maybe he viewed it as content or perhaps a big break, knowing his stream would be shared around in the news about this. I don't really know. But there is something still very off-putting about the way he responds to it, but I'm just going to go ahead and also give him the benefit of the doubt that perhaps this really is just how he responds to traumatic situations like this. But he did, a couple hours after this happened, make this tweet where he was replying to a news organization that posted his footage talking about the shooting in Ybor, and he said, "Yo, no props is crazy, not gonna lie, but hope everyone in the situation made it out safe." And then someone in the comments called him out saying, so someone said, props, this ain't no game, what the fuck? And then he said, not the gun, props like it's my video, and I ain't get credit. This is a very weird response, in my opinion here, because it seems like the first thing on his mind is getting credit for them using that footage, which to me screams that he wants the attention from being the one to capture these moments. I feel like if his primary concern was the safety of all those around them and wishing them well that they got out safely, that would have been his main statement instead of leading with, it's crazy that I didn't get props, not gonna lie. Like, that to me really rubs me the wrong way, but again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to pretend that I can read his mind. I'm also not trying to direct any harassment his way. This isn't like the focus of the video or anything, but these were the clips that we started to see right after the fact, and all of us were understandably like disturbed by what happened, and then also seeing someone laughing during it was extremely concerning. So I did want to talk about just that for a moment. I have made quite a few videos talking about how I believe there's a lot of influencers out there that just literally don't value human life and they just view the people around them as props. I've made the joke in the past that some of these content creators live by the motto, life is temporary, clout is forever, so they'll do anything in pursuit of clout, including perhaps using a shooting as a marketing tool to promote their stream. I hope that's not the case here. I'm not familiar with the streamer, so I can't really speak to their character or anything. I hope this is just one of those like defense mechanisms in a traumatic situation where unfortunately he laughs during it, and it's not him viewing it as some kind of like, you know, piece of content for his stream. But anyway, I'd like to state the obvious real quick, that it genuinely feels unsafe leaving the house. Every time you walk out the front door, it feels like you're taking an extreme risk in a dangerous environment. Even just going somewhere to have fun with your friends can instantly turn into the worst night of your life that changes everything forever, because two strangers just randomly start shooting each other over nothing and catching innocent people in the crossfire. One thing that I think is also important if you're not familiar with Ybor is every single night in Ybor, well, at least on the weekends when I've been, they have like at least 50 officers roaming the streets with their patrol cars. Some of them are even on horseback as well. And still, this happened. Even with all of that, this shooting happened in front of like 50 officers being there. Even with a strong police presence, they couldn't prevent 16 to 18 people getting injured in a shooting and 2 people dying from it. So there is a super strong police presence in that area where this shooting took place, and there was still nothing they could do to prevent it or stop the loss of life in a random shooting like this. It just happens too quick, and it is so fucking scary. But anyway, I don't want to focus on this for too long. My heart goes out to everyone that was affected by this, and my best wishes with the families of the deceased. That's about it. So yeah.